Hello.
Hello. Hi, sister friend.
Hi, sister friend. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling nervous and scared just because I, on two extreme levels, messed up our last episode.
Yeah, to anyone that listened to episode 2, this is my public apology for Zoe having the worst audio possible. But I did my best to make it usable.
But there was no way we could go in to re-record for a third time. I mean, that would have been
I would have had to quit the show.
horrible. Yeah, we would have had to just start fresh with a whole new concept.
I took a work from home lunch shower today, so my hair is like freshly clean, but it's not like styled, so I'm probably gonna be touching it like the whole time. I'm the kind of person that has straight hair, but like will straighten it with a flat iron afterwards.
Did you get a haircut?
No.
It looks like you got a haircut.
No, I did not get a haircut.
But you did have pneumonia since I
was
saw
gonna
you?
say we have some housekeeping corner. Some updates. The first thing was Zoe's audio sucking. So hopefully we've managed to figure that one out and it sounds better. The second one was I did not have adult asthma. I had, again, what I thought were 3 adult asthma attacks. They were not. I went to the doctor. It was a whole experience. I went to urgent care. I made my roommate come with me to be like my mom. And I was like, hello, nurse practitioner. I think I have asthma. And the nurse was like, I'm not sure about that. Let's test you for a bunch of respiratory, cases, and then let's get a chest x-ray. They didn't have an x-ray machine at that urgent care, so I had to go to a different urgent care. Got my chest x-ray, and then like 10 minutes later, the doctor called me, and she was like, yeah, you have pneumonia. And then they gave me a steroid, an antibiotic, and an inhaler. And I'm convinced if you have those 3 things, you can cure anything. I'm not kidding. Like within like 2 hours, I was like, I'm healed. I'm fine.
Okay. Are you continuing to take your
antibiotic?
antibiotic?
Yes, you and Mom are the same person. I still take my antibiotic. I have like 3 more days of it. I stopped taking the steroid, and I still take my inhaler. I was supposed to stop taking the steroid. It was only like in case I needed it, like in case my pneumonia wasn't improving. You can still have cough, so for like 2 to 3 weeks. So, but I'm on the mend.
Do you like wait? Is pneumonia is that just like you were sick and then it gets worse and it turns into pneumonia, or do you like catch I keep trying to say pneumonia, like the way it's spelled.
I have no idea. I know you can have like bronchitis that turns into pneumonia. I thought I had, I'm not kidding, like the common cold and also asthma. Like I didn't have I never ran a fever. I never like had any other symptoms besides just like coughing and wheezing and a lot of chest pressure. So I have no idea how I caught it, but I survived.
Wild. That is wild.
How did you have you had a doctor's appointment on the exact same day as I did.
And Dad did. Yeah, we had a healthcare week, and also Edison went to the vet too. But yeah, so I went to the doctor, and she was like, "Your blood is phenomenal." Like, but then also I had heard her in the room with the person before me who like had not good blood, and she was like, yo, these numbers are bad. So I'm not really sure if like her context for seeing my blood was like, oh, finally we have a healthy person, or like what was going on, because then also she's like, you're not even diabetic. It's like, well, why would I be diabetic? So I'm not sure what her reference points were, but I'm still gonna just believe that I have like the best blood ever. But yeah, so I got my ADHD meds. So that was cool. I can give you a full rundown on that sometime. But the other thing is that I took Dad to eye therapy. And that was just so fun to watch, because like I figured I've gone to Dad to some of his different doctor's appointments in the past. And like, I saw his last vision journey, and it was like, you're staring and you're doing things. No, this man was on like something that looked like a surfboard. This man was walking back and forth with like a bungee thing tied to him. Like,
oh my gosh, that's intensive.
Physical activities that I just was not expecting.
Wow.
But it was eye-opening for sure.
Eye-opening. Good one.
Oh, geez. Yeah, eye-opening. And then Edison went to the vet because Edison, my cat, this is my cat with my terminal tumor in his head, needed to go to the vet because he's just sneezing so much that it caused, like, he's sneezing blood, and he's just making little blood splatters all over the home, which is horrifying to see. But he's like not in much pain. But they gave him now we're giving him a Chinese herbal supplement. Okay. So now we're going with Eastern medicine, I guess.
Love it. Tell me when you get a psychic in there, and I want to hear his inner thoughts.
I know. I was talking to her aunt, and she was like, well, they have someone who does Reiki around here for pets. It's like, I had no idea that was
there you go
in our small little town. Yeah.
Okay, so more on the housekeeping. Also, my public apology for being so lame last episode. I literally had pneumonia. I had pneumonia for like 6 days before I knew I had pneumonia. So that's why I was so sad. Not sad, but just like not energetic. And then finally, I had said we were waiting on Dad's biopsy reports. And just to clear the air, everything came back negative. Everything's fine. Dad is perfect in his own little way. So rest assured, nothing bad happened in that avenue.
Yes, we are all on the mend.
I'm still taking my AG1. I just hit my 2-week mark. They sent me a text and they're like, some benefits should be kicking in. The only thing that's happened to me is gotten pneumonia. So honestly, I don't know if anything good is coming from it yet, but I'm still holding out.
The results are in. I am ill. Interesting. Huh.
And funny you said about blood work. Last time I had blood work, the doctor was like, you are not healthy. They're like, what do you eat? It looks like you eat pasta and potatoes. And I was like, that's literally all I eat. So.
Wow. Well, I've been taking my greens for like a very long time now. So maybe that's why my blood's so good. I don't know.
But speaking of my athletic greens, Mom called me yesterday because she's really concerned I'm not drinking enough water.
Oh my goodness. I know. I defended you. I just need you to know that. We were in the car. And we were going somewhere. Oh, we had like that tastings thing for our venue. And we were all talking about how ill you were. And Mom was like, yeah, I just don't think she drinks enough water. And I was like, I think she drinks water. But then everyone else was like, nah, never. Because this is what they claim. Is that you always have a drink with you, but you're not drinking that drink. Like, you'll get a drink and then you won't drink the drink.
First of all, I don't think drinking water would have saved me from pneumonia. I don't think it's my dehydration that I think what happened is New York City apartments are so freakishly hot, comes out of that heater right there. You cannot turn them off. So the only way to regulate the temperature in my room is to open a window. So I think I had pneumonia because I slept with an open window for 2 weeks and it was like 30 degrees out. Okay, not because I'm not drinking water. Secondly, I live 5 states away from you guys. You guys have no idea what I do on a day-to-day basis. Nobody in our family knows if I drink water or not. And so I don't know why I have the need to comment on my water consumption. I do drink water. I'm probably yelling in my microphone and I'm going to have to like edit this. I do drink a lot of water. When I'm at work, I have my water bottle. When I'm home, I have my water bottle. I have a water bottle literally right here. I drink water, people.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I was kind of defending you, but like everyone was like acting like they had facts on facts.
But no one has facts. Like, I don't know, they're making assumptions.
No, they don't. No, they're straight up
blasphemy.
Well, this is the issue, Kenzie. This is the issue with you is that you're the youngest child, and like for some reason, I feel like everyone has it ingrained in their heads of like the way you acted when you were 4 is who you are today, because you were like a picky eater, and so everyone's like, oh, Kenzie, but it was like, yeah, okay, you went through a long phase of only wanting pasta with butter, but like you eat vegetables
No,
now.
100%. I have been, you know, it's like celebrities, like they get frozen at the age that they became famous at. I am frozen at like 7 years old in our parents' head. And back to my statement, I eat pasta and potatoes every day because I'm poor and lazy, not because I don't like vegetables. If someone wanted to give me nice roasted broccolini and asparagus every day, I would absolutely eat it. I'm just incredibly lazy. But back to my point, everyone thinks I am a picky eater and incredibly unhealthy. And I don't know. I feel like I've kind of changed some of the other things.
Well, time out. But with the incredibly unhealthy, I don't think that I do think that you are incredibly unhealthy. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. You're the sickest one among us. Like, not in the what you're putting into your body, but just like, I swear every single year of college you had to get a bag of fluids.
No, I did.
Like,
I think I went to the emergency room like 4 times, and every time they're like, you're unhydrated. You're dehydrated, which might be why Mom thinks I'm dehydrated. But I'm not now. And also, I have a ridiculously high heartbeat. And so part of when I went to the doctor the other day, I could not get it under 130 beats per minute. And I had to sit for 15 minutes. I had to do breathing exercises. I like slowly drank a bottle of water. And they were like, are you like, do we need to go to the emergency room? And I'm like, no, I just have a really fast heart rate. Like, I'm really anxious. And also I had pneumonia. So my heart was pumping really hard because it was hard to get oxygen to my lungs. But whenever they see my pulse rate with the doctor and back in college when I went to the emergency room, they assume it's dehydration. 1, because it might be dehydration. 2, I think I just have a really high pulse. But I do get sick. Like last year, like last calendar year, I had the flu twice. I had COVID twice. I had like 28 common colds.
You know what's crazy is one time, so like when we had to get physicals in high school for sports, like I always just went to a chiropractor, which is like interesting choice. But you could get them like really cheap, real quick, like the week of if you needed one. So that's why I went that route. But he took my pulse and he was like, "Oh, this must be broken," and went and got a different thing to read my pulse with. Is it pulse? No, you just count with the pulse.
Your blood pressure?
Maybe it was my blood pressure. My blood pressure. Yeah. Okay. So he used the adult cuff and I was like, oh, interesting. My thing's broken. He went and got the kids one, and mine was like the exact same thing it was the first time. He's like, oh, you just must have a weird pulse.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't help that Mom has a runner's pulse, and so she's like comparing my absurdly high pulse to her incredibly low pulse. I don't know. I think it's a combination of anxiety and whatever.
Yeah, that time that I passed out at that hospital, I was immediately surrounded by doctors. I wasn't there for the hospital for me. They were just explaining to me how kidneys worked for Dad. And I passed out in the hallway for context. But they took mine and they were like, are you an athlete? And like me who like, I mean, I work out. But I was like, I don't know. I do work out a lot. Like, what a weird, like, are you... As an adult, asking someone if they're an athlete is a weird question.
That's true. That is a weird question. I've also never been asked that before in my life because physicians don't make those assumptions about me. Because they look at my blood and they're like, wow, you only eat potatoes and pasta and your heart rate is 130 beats per minute.
Yeah. And then they're like, she doesn't have any water with her, so she's clearly not trying to stay hydrated for sport activities.
Remember that time we were on the Disney cruise and you passed out?
Oh, that was one that was so funny because it was like, first of all, I had been on the Tower of Terror and I was scared of elevators because we went to Disney and then we went on the cruise, and so I was terrified of elevators and I was feeling ill, and Mom was like, well, you're either gonna get to come to dinner with us if you get, like, because I was like just like moping around, I wasn't getting ready for dinner, and so she was like, you can either come to dinner or we'll take you to the doctors. like thinking that I would like pick up my spirits and like be ready to go to dinner. And so I go to stand up to try to get ready, and I fall into the bathroom. I hit my head on the toilet because I passed out. and then of course everyone was like shook. And then I was a little freaked out, but I didn't want to go to the doctors, and I was like, no, you guys, I am fine. Really, no one should be concerned at all. So then I proceed to stand up and then fall into the hallway, pass out a second time, and I wake up in Dad's arms on the elevator, to which I was so scared because it was like, not only did I pass out 2 times, which was like, I think those were my first pass outs, but it was like I wake up on an elevator that I'm terrified of. Horrifying.
I just remember I was like, I don't really remember Disney at all, but I'm sure at the time I was like complaining about not going to dinner or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe Dad took you guys on to dinner because Mom had to give me my medicine.
I was a very like quintessential youngest child, especially at Disney.
I caused a few scenes there because also like Mom and Dad were going to like a fancy dinner one night, and we had to go to the kids' room, and I think like literally it was like, I think you were in your own
I
thing
had my
'cause you were,
own
like,
kids'
younger
room, which I have my own.
I was with the
horror memory of.
Yeah, so I was in the room with Cody. All we were doing was watching a movie, and I just realized I didn't know anyone there. And I was like in a room on a boat. I didn't know where my room was. And I was like, oh, I have to go. I have to go. And so they had to like radio Mom and Dad. They had like a little buzzer thing, like to like, oh, your kid's having an issue. And like they came, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just scared.
Okay, so I had a similar issue, but mine wasn't that at all, actually. At the Disney cruise, actually, I have 2 stories, but I'll do this one first. So on the Disney cruise, they have the characters obviously dressed up on the boat. And I was in my own version of the little kids room because Zoe and Cody were like older kids, and I was like really young. I don't know. I was like 6 or something. And Captain Hook was coming, and I was like so scared of Captain Hook. And like, but I was also so scared to have them ask to call my parents. Like, I didn't know which was worse. I was like, am I more scared to talk to a stranger or for Captain Hook to come? And I don't know how, but like the Lord looked out for me, and Mom came like minutes before Captain Hook arrived, and I like didn't have to be there. But I remember
it was probably because she was picking me up early.
So scared, and everyone was like so excited, like, oh, Captain Hook, and I was like, I have to get out of here. But the second story with Disney is this is the first time I distinctly remember Mom lying to me. And this is where my trust issues stem from. I was anxious. I didn't like roller coasters. Okay, I was like 6. And everyone else liked roller coasters and water rides and whatever, because everyone was like older than me, whatever. But Mom and Dad had taken turns like riding things and not riding things and riding things and not riding things, and we all they just wanted to go on this is the Small World ride. I don't know. It's one of the rides. And there's a really big hill at the end. And Mom told me, like, so honestly, only the empty cars go down the hill. Because we saw one cart go down and it was empty. And so I was like, okay, cool, I'll do it. And she's like, it's like a lazy river. Okay, it was not like a lazy river. And we went down, and I distinctly remember, this is my only memories from Disney. Like, it looked like you're about to hit a thorn bush, and then, like, you go to the right really fast. And, like, that legitimately traumatized me as a child. And to this day, I have trust issues with our mother.
Did you go to Cedar Point when you were in band?
I did.
Like, every summer? Okay, did you guys ride the ride that like you'd get soaking wet at the end, or no?
Oh, Snake River Falls. Yes.
Okay, because I can always remember it was like you wanted to go on it because you were so hot. Yeah. And like our band director, who was like smart, was like, hey, make sure you don't go on that ride like too late into the day because you'll have to ride home on the bus sopping wet. And we definitely one time rode home on the bus sopping wet.
Yeah, I didn't like roller coasters until maybe like my sophomore or junior year of high school. And that's
Okay.
when I
Yeah.
was
I
just
was
old
kinda
enough
like
to
them.
force myself. I still wouldn't say I'm like a huge fan. Like I don't think I would pay to go to Cedar Point right now. But I was there and I was like, well, what else am I going to do? I'm not going to sit by myself. My friends are riding them. So
Yeah.
so I did it, and I rode Top Thrill and all the other ones in the park, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's I went one time in college with a group of friends, and it was like we rode a few rides, and then we rode the one that like circles just up and
Like the
back.
corkscrew?
And no, it's like Power Max or something. It's like it's like you're just like in a circle of
Oh,
seats,
I
and it rotates
hate
in
that.
like pendulums. And
I hate that in
we
the
got
States.
off of it, and everyone was like not feeling good, and then one person in our group threw up, and we were all like, we're too old to be here.
That's
So,
interesting.
That was my last time I was there.
Yeah, I never have went back since high school. Maybe, yeah. I don't really know if I would ever go. I'll go on roller coasters, but I don't think of myself as like a thrill seeker or whatever they call themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so Zoe, I added this to the notes because I think this is a fun thing to talk about. What did you want to be growing up, and when did you know you wanted to be a farmer?
Okay, so growing up, I can remember a few times sitting at like the kitchen table of just like mom and dad would ask us what we wanted to be when we grew up. And like I think one time like I couldn't think of anything. Like honestly, I think maybe I couldn't think of anything. I was like I could farm, and like I'm not sure if it was just like, oh, that's like if it clicked of like, oh, that actually is something I could do. But like I can't remember ever wanting to do anything else except for when I was in 5th grade till now. I wanted to be a hairdresser. And like mom and dad were very much like, we'd like you to go to a 4-year college. Like, you can't go to hairdresser school. Like that was mom's reasoning. I was like, you can't go to hairdresser school for 4 years or something, which is, I don't know.
I think she has like since taken that back too.
Yeah. But I think it was like, but I was like, oh, I can't do that. Which also, like, I would make a horrible hairdresser. Like, my hands are not steady in any way. Like, everyone's hair would be absolutely lopsided and like just so bad. I'd be the person that'd be like accidentally like over bleaching someone's hair and their hair would fall out. So I really don't think that path was for me. But there was a while there that I was like pretty interested in that. I do still think it would be like a super fun job to have.
Oh, I do too.
But yeah, I can remember a few times like just growing up, like after I like said I was going to be a farmer, of like he's like, oh well, I have to stick with this now.
That's so interesting.
This is my answer. But then I think it's because I like thought about it and maybe said it out loud that I was like, I actually like thought about it and I was like, yeah, that'd be a nice job. But like when I was in high school, like that's when dad and I were having like serious conversations about it, just because like he needed to make sure that there was like an opportunity for me when I graduated. But they were always like, oh, you can always change your mind. Like it wasn't forced upon me at all. When like you wanted to do so many
No, I
different
know.
things.
I distinctly remember sitting at that table and mom was like, what do you want to be? And I said, I want to be a Kroger checkout girl. And I stand by that. I don't know why. Just like when you were younger, watching people like scan all of the items and stuff, it looks so fun. But yeah.
No, like I know people always complain about like doing the self checkout, but I
love it.
Sometimes I don't mind it.
I'm living my dream. Yeah, no, what I want to be changes every day. I wanted to be a chemist for a minute, and then I took chemistry and I was like, this is stupid. Why did I ever want to do this? And then when I went to college, I was a political science major, and I really thought I was like going to be a senator. Like I really thought I was going to change the world. And then I interned on Capitol Hill for Senator Sherrod Brown. Shout out Sherrod. Still really like that man. I was doing research though on child abuse fatalities, which is just so upsetting. And basically just proving, pulling data to prove that there were child abuse fatalities so that we could ensure funding. And so it was just really upsetting work. And I realized I didn't want to be like in conflict with people every day. I found it kind of not discouraging, but just really hard to constantly feel like I had to justify my opinions on things to peers and colleagues. And so and also I worked on a campaign and that was horrible.
Well, you had to like cold call and like knock on doors.
And
I was just like a hard...
and I was doing it in Toledo, which is like kind of a scary city, and I was doing it by myself, which is like kind of scary. That's a really hard job. And so the next semester I interned at the Holocaust Museum, which ironically was a much better job for me.
Difficult in a different way.
Difficult in a very different way, but I found the work so much more satisfying. And that's when I decided I wanted to do museum work in some form. And then I interned at the Smithsonian, and I interned briefly at the National Archives, and then COVID happened, and I got sent home, and I quarantined in Ohio, and then I was supposed to graduate, and all the museums were shut down, and I didn't know what to do because that's the only thing I wanted to do. So then I enrolled in a master's program at NYU in museum studies, and then I needed a job so I could pay rent, and I started at where I work now, and I've just stayed there. And I didn't really plan to do special events. I kind of like fell into this role a little bit, but I love it. It's really fun. But my dream job still is to be a librarian.
Yeah, I need you to, because it does sound awesome in some ways, of like you just go, and I just imagine you just read books all day and you just like
all goes back to scanning things. Okay, I want to scan books. No, as I mentioned in episode 2, I love a low stress job. I like helping people. I like helping people do research. I really found academia really fun. And I do think it would just be like kind of chill. I get to read a lot, get to help people, get to organize things. Well, all things I really enjoy doing. And I kind of want to do I want to do like a small library, like a small public library. Some people do like academic libraries. So you can do law school libraries. You can do, it's the world of libraries are massive.
Yeah. 2 thoughts. I feel like no one ever goes into a library like mad. Mom won't go into a library though, because she has like guilt that maybe one time she like lost one book and she's like, can't go back, which I don't know. I think we just need to force her to go back to the library. She worked at a library like growing up too.
Yeah, she did.
But I interviewed a librarian one time in college. I took a class that was like a gimme, like I think it wasn't even like a full credit. It was like a half a credit, which I don't know why I took it, but like it was like literally like learning about how to do research. And so I had to go to like one of the libraries on campus and interview a librarian.
I actually used the librarians at GW a lot. I found them to be really, really helpful and an underutilized resource. I was going to say something. Oh, also libraries, obviously they function as a side of research and everything along those lines, but also I just think they're so important for community building, and especially like here in New York City, it's a public place that has a restroom and air conditioning and access to the internet and a roof over your head if it's raining outside. And I just think that they're like really amazing places of community engagement, and we should all work to save libraries. The New York Public Library unfortunately closed on Sundays now, which I think is horrible. I also think they're great for families. I don't know. I could like really go on a rant about how much I love libraries.
We always went to like story time too. That was always fun. And then we did like the book thing like in the summer.
I want a
bike.
Went
to the basement. You got a bike because you read so much.
And like I wasn't.
Yeah, that was good.
I know. I love the library, and like our nephew has a library close to his house that's like full of toys, and I just think it's a great place to, hang out if you're young, since they started banning teenagers from the mall. We went to the mall when I was home over the holidays, and now you have to be 16 with ID to go to the mall. Because, like, are kids fighting each other?
Unaccompanied. I don't know. Kids at the mall always scared me personally, just because we weren't mall kids.
That's true. We weren't mall kids. But, like, still, I feel like, what do? You hang out at the mall. I mean, our mall, to be fair, like, the closest good mall was, like, 30 minutes away. And then the closest, like, mall was, like, an hour away.
Real mall. Yeah, because we had one where it had, like, 3 stores that were decent. But, yeah.
I just feel like the kids need a place to hang. Where are the campers going?
Yeah, am I being anti-library because I started exchanging books with a friend instead of using my local resource?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, no. You know what's so this is the thing about reading. I prefer to have a physical book because if I'm reading on my iPad, like I'll simply look at notifications and I can't be focused enough to just like do what I'm doing. Also, like just looking at screens, you never know. So I like having a physical book. But then like the books pile up and the books take up room. And I'm a person that doesn't like to have a lot of things around. I'm also not a person that will reread a book. Like if I've read it, I'm done with it. So one of my friends just recently, like we just started swapping books back and forth.
Yeah, I do that all the time with my friends.
Book swapping.
With my friends, with my boss. With everybody.
Well, you hang out with more people that read than I do. I didn't really realize that my friend was such a bookworm and she had all these books. And so we just started swapping back and forth.
It's always been really nice, except for one time I got a book from a gal and I hated the book and she loved the book. And I haven't really trusted her recommendations since then. So that's the only downside.
Yes.
And then you have also, if it's like a schmut book, there's like sometimes people will give me a book and it's like a little pornier than what I'm into. And then I have to look at that person again in the eyes and be like, I know what you read. And like that to me is weird.
Yes, that is definitely a bizarre phenomenon. Also, I recently got a schmut book that was written in the 90s, and it was like just the verbiage used was interesting. I don't want to have this conversation, but it was weird. But it was like also interesting because it was just like, oh, this is what the people were into back in the 90s.
I haven't really read, most of the books I've been reading are like very contemporary, like within the last 10 years. I'm looking at my bookshelf behind me.
I have a story about a library from our aunt. So I went up to Cleveland last weekend, and we have 3 cousins that like all not actually well. I guess they've like some of them have lived in their homes for like multiple years, but we just hadn't ever seen them, and so we went on like a little house tour of all their different homes, which was really fun. But we were just talking, and our aunt was like, she had one of our cousins' books, and she accidentally returned it to the library. It was the I'm Glad My Mom's Dead book from Jeanette McCurdy. And so she accidentally returned it to the library rather than returning it to our cousin. And so she went back the next day, and they were like, oh, sorry, like if you turn a book in here, like it goes to something to go into our like book sale or something. And like she could not get it back.
Oh, no.
So she's like, now I double check every time that I go to return a book that is actually a library book. Well, what we were saying is like it's such a good book that like maybe the person that took it was just like in the middle of reading and like, nope, can't give it.
Maybe. That's interesting. My update on my book goal, I'm behind. I haven't even finished my second book of this year, and we're already halfway through January. But also, I had pneumonia. Something I don't think we're talking about enough is that I am recovering from pneumonia, and I didn't want to read when I was sick. I've been watching a lot of TV.
Did your pneumonia... I know you can work from home and stuff. Did you have to take days off work for this pneumonia? Or like, because you were functioning.
I know.
You were moving and
so
grooving.
The day I went to the doctor, I went over on my lunch break, found out I had pneumonia. And then Mom was like, are you going to go get your medication? And I said, yeah, I'm going to pick it up after work. And she was like, why are you working? To be fair, I was working from home and I wasn't working very hard, but I was working. But I ended up taking Friday off just to rest and recover. We had Monday off because of Martin Luther King having a dream, and then I worked from home today. But I'm going to go in tomorrow because I've been on antibiotics for 5 days, and I'm not contagious. So honestly,
Yeah,
I think the
that's
worst of it was before I was diagnosed. Like, I think I worked those 4 days when I was really sick. I think I was like working with pneumonia and hopefully not spreading it to anybody.
What's the temperature there? Like 10 or like negative 17 or something?
It's 30 degrees.
Oh, okay. So we're at 10, I think, still. This week I was planning on hauling corn, but everything is frozen, absolutely solid. And I have some other things I can be working on, so it's
There's
fine.
a fire truck outside.
But I took Oh, I can't hear it. But I took a blowtorch up, and I was trying to like heat up metal. And by the time I would get one side like heated up,
so was
and I
the
moved to
corn
other
in the
sides,
bin
it'd freeze again.
frozen?
No. Just the metal slides.
Oh.
So the other day it rained and then it froze. So there's just like ice stuck betwixt things. So
I don't really understand how
I've
grain bins work.
I don't know. It's a metal slide. It's literally just like a little wheel that I need to open. I need to crank open. That just has water in it. That's
so grain bins.
frozen.
They're hollow, and you fill them to the
Yes.
very tippy top with corn or beans, and they just hold
Yes.
it
And
until you sell it.
Yeah. So there's a pipe that goes into it that it like all funnels in, and then it funnels out the bottom. But we also have a side draw. So the side draw is the thing that was frozen for me. But yeah, and then there's fans that will blow air through it to make the temperature in there good.
How long can corn and beans sit in bins for?
Dad said like if you monitor it pretty well and you have airflow, like 2 years.
Oh my goodness.
Now we always just sell it within the calendar year because like we don't have a cash flow like that, and also it just wouldn't make sense for our storage.
Yeah.
But yeah, we now you want to like get some of it out to get movement through it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think you would like want to fill it up and then not look at it for 2 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was literally thinking like 2 weeks or something. I'm like, how long can eggs last in a fridge?
I don't know. So people do the that like, what do they put on it? I want to say calcium, and they put like lime wash on eggs, and then they can like, they're good for like months.
What are you talking about?
What?
What are you talking about?
Didn't you say that eggs can only last?
Oh no,
what?
I was just saying I didn't know how long corn can last, and I was thinking 2 weeks because eggs last 2 weeks. I don't even know if eggs last 2 weeks. I don't eat eggs.
Eggs can last 2 weeks.
That's good.
But you can make them last a lot longer.
If you put calcium on them, I had no idea.
Not calcium. It's
salt.
I literally just said it. I don't know. Lime. I don't know.
Lime?
They were saying something about lime.
That's how you.
I
Keep your avocados
about.
green.
No, not like that. Like, dude, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I might have made all of this up.
If you put lime on your eggs, it'll.
No, not like a lime. Like lime, as in like the stuff we put on our fields.
You put lime on your fields.
Yeah.
Like lime. What's lime?
I don't know.
What's lime if it's not the green citrus thing?
It's like a granular powder, but like I don't know, like limestone.
Okay. Limestone is a mineral that comes from. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So
which is in no way.
Limestone?
No. I don't think limestone is connected to limes.
Definitely not. No.
I don't. How can you even get limestone to put on your eggs?
Dude, I don't know. I might have made this whole scenario up, but I think I saw a TikTok on it.
No.
Like, I think they call it like a lime wash.
The hydrated lime solution works by sealing off the egg and filling the pores of the eggshell. So, I think maybe you're right. Limed eggs. And homesteadfamily.com says it's actually not good to eat the lime. That's why you wash off the egg before using them. Oh, it's like a way to preserve eggs.
Yeah, see, the thing is about posting, like, about farming is it, like, there's a intersection of homesteaders, and so sometimes I just get, like, fed homesteading content.
I think I'm the opposite of homesteading. Like, I don't produce anything myself.
You're like, no, I don't want to be inside my home.
I know.
I don't even want to
Well,
get groceries.
I'm homesteading in the fact that I don't leave my apartment, and I do grocery delivery a lot, but...
You're homesteading in the way that you don't leave your home.
But never in my life have I produced anything worth consuming.
Nuh-uh, you make good cakes. You produce cakes.
I haven't baked a cake in like 2 years.
See, but that's your thing. Like, you made 3 cakes one time, and we're like, oh, Kenzie's a baker.
That's the thing. It's so funny how people will grab one thing about you, and then that's like your personality. Like, Zoe had one shirt that had a cactus on it, and then for like 5 years straight, we only associated Zoe with cacti, and all of your gifts were like cactus themed and all of that. Do you remember when you were a cactus in that play, and your only lines were "Trimble, trimble, trimble"?
This is the thing. This is the thing about, like, you and me doing the same activities together. Like, so we went to this thing, and it was like every Saturday morning. It was like I don't know, kids being in plays. Like, I don't know what
it was like a local community theater.
Yeah, like a community theater type thing. But I just and we would carpool over because it was in a couple towns over. We'd carpool with some friends, and I just remember every Saturday morning my heart just sinking, my stomach flipping, and being like, oh my god, I have to go to this thing I signed up for that I'm scared of doing. And then and so, like, Kenzie was obviously in a different age group, and then, like, my friend who I decided to do this with me, like, she had done it for a few years, and she was a good actress, whatever she prefers, and so she was in a different group, and I was in, like, the beginner actors in my age group thing, and luckily, like, everyone had to audition for all of the parts, and I got the worst part one could get, and I was a cactus, and I had 3 words I said. And it was like, it was some Western thing. And it was like, this guy's so scary that even the cactuses trembled. And I had to go, tremble, 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 like with 2 other people. And it was like a group of people saying tremble, tremble, tremble. Because, like, the whole thing was like, everyone's going to have lines. And, like, technically, I had a line.
Do you remember the show we did where we were, like, on a ship?
Yeah, but this is the thing. So I was in my tremble, tremble, tremble. Like, I was trembling to my core this whole time, being like, why did I sign up for this? And then Kenzie was, like, in this other group, and, like, they loved you. Like, I can remember, because, like, there was, like, one main teacher who was in charge of this whole thing, and I can remember, like, you were on stage, and, like, the teacher was literally like, who is this girl? She is amazing, an icon. We love her. Put her in the front. And, like, she was so into you, and I was just like sitting watching it all, being like, that's not me.
That's crazy. I don't remember it, like, any of that, but I do remember being in a play that was about a ship, and I was playing a cheerleader.
It was called, like, the SSSS or something.
And I was a cheerleader.
Yeah, okay, and then they did, like, the Crocodile Rock at one point. I remember that.
And then they do, like, Jailhouse Tango.
And yeah, they did the Jailhouse something, and I just remember someone had, like, a fake cigarette they used, and I was like, wow, that's cool.
Somewhere, somehow, there's a recording of this in someone's basement, and I need it.
That's, yeah.
That
was another thing that I just signed up for that I was so terrified of.
You know what I've learned through these 3 episodes is that I was so incredibly anxious, and you were just so scared.
I don't know. I wonder why that is, because, like, I feel like also, like, oh, this is interesting. I was getting lunch with one of Dad's cousins recently, and he was, like, asking about another family member, and he was like, oh, isn't she really shy? To which my aunt said, No, she's not shy, but she's quiet. Like, there is a difference.
Oh, sure.
Like, I think often they go hand in hand, but like, yeah, she's not shy. She's just isn't going to interject and cut you off and like ramble on and on.
Yeah. You know, I don't think of myself as an extrovert. I think when you look at our family, I am the most extroverted of our family. But I think compared to
Yes.
extroverts
Or
of
dad.
the world, I am an introvert. And that's really hard to explain to
Yes.
mom sometimes.
Well, and like sometimes like just I'll like meet people and I'll talk to them and then like I'll be like, oh yeah, like I'm just like an introvert, and they're like, what? No way. Or like because I cheered in college, and it's like I think that also people assume that like introverts are not good at communicating and
Yeah.
like don't know skills. It's like no, it's just like this is so draining and I'm shaking
No,
on the inside.
100%. Like, people are like, oh, you can't be an introvert. You do special events. Like, no, I have to leave the event to go home and lay in my bed and not speak to anyone for 4 days. Like, I can do my job. It doesn't mean that it's like I love talking to people every minute of every day. Also, I feel like I fill my cup like with alone time instead of like other people that fill their cups like with other people. Sister friend. Oh, we're at 46 minutes. That's good. That's it. We're golden. Do you have anything else to say besides that you're wearing the same sweatshirt you
Did
wore
freeze?
last time?
Oh no, this
Yeah.
one? Maybe I've been wearing it the whole time. Is that pickles?
It is. There are different jars of pickles.
Oh, I love that. That's nice. Pickles are
I would
so
love
good.
a pickle right now. What are you going to have for dinner?
I don't know. Can you hear Tanner cooking in the background? He's sizzling up something, but I don't know what it is. So,
I might have a baked potato. I might have a bowl of pasta.
oh my gosh. I went to the grocery store today, and I was like, it was like right after I'd eaten, so I wasn't hungry, and I was trying to force myself to buy things. I got a carton of eggs, 3 avocados because it was 3 for $2, which was a pretty good deal on them, and I got whipped cream,
Delicious.
and that's all I left with. It's like this is interesting.
Okay, well, amazing. Here's your reminder to drink your water. Take your vitamins.
I'm always drinking my
Not
water.
you. The 115 viewers.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Okay. See you next
See ya. Bye.
week. Bye.